Welcome to Clean and Sober Stoner.
See, what I appreciate about this is the interpretation. Like, a lot of bands are going to go on a click track, and a lot of times the bass is going to be in the pocket. I do think the bass should be slightly ahead of the beat, and then the drums kick back a bit. So I thought that was an inspired interpretation. I appreciate it. Hi, everybody. This is Clean and Sober Stoner. I want to welcome really super good friends of the channel. This is the legendary Vitskar Suden. And I will let the band members introduce themselves as they see fit.
I'm Martin, I play bass and sing.
I'm TJ, I play guitar.
Julian here, guitar, synthesizers.
So Martin, like out of the blue, let me know that you all have a little single coming out. Tell us what's coming out.
A little Halloween freebie treat as we sort of try to wind up to our new record that'll be out next year. Something fun for us to keep things brewing.
That's exciting, and I really appreciate that you thought about us. And you decided to brave the dreaded live reaction video. How are you feeling? How are your nerves? Are you okay?
I'm at ease.
I think we're good with it. This is such a little fun little side track for us. We were mixing our record in Austin a couple weeks ago, and this came together just right before. So.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about the concept behind it, and then we'll dive into it. So, what can we expect from your perspective? What can we expect to hear on this?
Well, origin-wise, this was a sort of left-field little thing we did in a jam a couple of years ago, and the guys had no idea they were doing it. It was Halloween a couple of years ago, and I walked in with having just this weird little bass and vocal take on this song, and played it while we were jamming, and the guys had zero idea that we were covering a song in some strange fashion. So that was the origin, and we had this weird jazzy doomy thing with it, and then it sort of took a turn when we decided to approach it to actually release it. So that's what you're going to hear now.
Okay, and the writing process, is a mostly improvised jam, or did you actually plan this one out?
We didn't really plan it. It just Martin came in with it, but sort of surprised us with it. We didn't know while we were playing it what we were even playing, so it was more of an improvisational kind of what we normally do. We're just jamming stuff out. It seemed kind of familiar, but I couldn't put my finger on it. I was like, "Oh, something's familiar with this."
I think maybe the second chorus.
Yeah.
Is probably when it dawned on me, at least.
Yeah,
that we're playing that.
So
Okay.
Just in a jam, really, and then we kind of took that jam and sort of reevaluated it and sort of figured, let's try and figure out what we can do with it.
So, and I'll edit this out. This is a cover.
It is.
Kind of.
Is it of Michael Jackson?
It is. Though it may not be recognizable as that, we radically reinvented it. So there's elements from the bass line that are a nod to the original bass line, the bass synth line in it, and but other than that, and the lyrics are there, but other than that, other than being in the same key, we're off in our own universe.
Well, I think you just piqued everybody's interest, and I think we should just dive into it and see what Vitskar Suden's reimagining of Thriller might sound like. There we go. I'll admit, I was a little worried there for a second. That intro, how are you doing that intro?
It's a little bit of Prophet synth. The drums we're using are the drums from the original jam when no one knew what we were playing, and then so we use that as our foundation and work back up over that, and it's got some effects applied to it and stuff.
Yeah, I was a little worried that you had gone on this completely different direction, but then the other instruments come in and you're like, oh, thank God, this is classic Vitskar. So it's really, I would never guess that this is a cover, at least at this point. So, so far pretty good.
It's close to midnight. Something evil's lurking in the dark. Under the moonlight, see the sight that almost stops your heart. You try to scream, but terror takes the sound before you make it. You start to freeze. just a thriller.
I don't want to talk. This has totally sucked me in. I can't. I'm one of those people that when somebody says Michael Jackson, I immediately shut off. I just so close-minded. I've never listened to the lyrics of this song before. I think, wow, this is like really good in a lot of different ways. This is making me appreciate what he did because these are great lyrics, right?
Yeah, the guy who wrote this song, Rod, I'm blanking on his last name, but I had never really looked at the lyrics of this until I decided to kind of spring it on these guys in surprise fashion. I kind of mangled the lyrics a bit when we first jammed it, but you know, when you take it almost half speed, they're very creepy, sort of leering lyrics, and so it was fun to work with them in that way. It doesn't seem there are a couple of words in it that I would have changed if we were doing it ourselves, if this was our song, but I stuck with the original. But
I was gonna say, if only we had the chance to rearrange some of the words.
Yeah, but but yeah, it's very not pop song when you take it at this pace and hear the lyrics in their form. So.
This is, yeah, I mean, this is, so far I can tell you that this is really making me appreciate what they accomplished in the early 80s and the whole team that went behind the production of it. So right there, hell has frozen over. I'm actually having a constructive and positive discussion on an 80s pop song.
Thriller night. No one's gonna save you from the beast about to strike. Yeah, it's a thriller. Thriller night. Fighting for your life inside a killer thriller tonight. You hear the door slam. Realize there's nowhere left to run. You feel the cold hand. Wonder if you'll ever see the sun. You close your eyes and hope that this is just imagination, girl. But all the while, you hear a creature creeping up behind. You're out of time, 'cause this is Thriller. Thriller night. There ain't no second chance against the thing with 40 eyes. Thriller. Thriller night. You're fighting for your life inside a killer thriller tonight.
Okay. The atmosphere that you guys, the guitar playing, I don't know how you two come up with what it is that you do. And I don't even know how to ask the question. But, like, you don't approach guitar as, you know, the typical rock band approaches guitar. I think you deliberately do that.
Yeah, that's right.
The effects, the you've got it buried in the mix. It's very creepy. And I think the song would be on the side of boring. This version, it would be on the side of boring. But then you guys put those freaking bongos in there. That is absolute brilliance. Like
That is it's a percussion effect that algorithmically takes what Christopher, our drummer, is playing and fills over it, and it struck me as kind of almost like a marching bandy kind of little element that got added into it that sort of broadened out the soundscape a bit on the choruses and things like that. So that was fun to play with.
You're creating an incredible amount of tension in this, and then the bongos just add to the oh my godness of it. It's so good. I'm listening to it. It's like something is coming at me from like behind and then over. So hats off to you on that one. And that's an effect.
Yeah. It's a digital effect that plays off of the actual drum track, so it's nice. And we should tip our hat, as you tipped yours, to Don Santo, our mixer, on creating that space in your cans that you were talking about, because that's all him. So
I could almost imagine this in like full Dolby Atmos, where you've got the speaker placement going on, and it's this really effective guy. I'm surprised. I expected good, but I didn't expect something this ominous. This is like the darkest thing I think I've heard from you folks. Biggest
Well, it might be. To me, like it's honest. It's familiar because this sounds a little more like what it feels like when we just play, when we jam. It's usually a wall of noise and texture and more weird stuff when we're just just playing. So
Okay.
it's less unfamiliar, at least to my ear, than some of our other stuff.
I think there was a moment with this because it's so removed from the original song. At one point when we were working on it, I think TJ said, like, what if we just change all the words and make this our song? Because it's so in our wheelhouse as presented, and really the only thing that's tying it into the original are the lyrics at this point. But this is fun and a little Halloween thing for us to do. So
I think the fact that you're sticking to the lyrics and a little bit to some of the song structure, the chorus and all that, it just adds to the creepiness of this, man. It is familiar, but it's kind of like, I've been here during the day. It's a totally different thing at night with the fog rolling in and in the moon. So great effect, guys. This really is fun. Okay, back to it.
Night creatures call, and the dead start to walk. There's no escaping. Jaws, the alien. This time. This is the end of your life. They're out to get you. There's demons closing in on every side. They will possess you unless you change that number on your dial. Now is the time for you and I to cuddle close together. Yeah. All through the night, I'll save you from the terror on the screen. I'll make you see that this is Thriller night. I can thrill you more than any cold ever did try. Thriller night. So let me hold you tight and share a killer thriller tonight. Tonight.
you made it, Scott. You made it through a almost halftime version of a 4.5 minute pop song. So
there's
thank you
so
and
much.
Congratulations.
There's so much here. There's so much here. That is such a good vocal performance. It feels, I'm not criticizing, but it feels more confident. Like, it feels more like the vocals are so prominent because you're carrying really carrying the story. And I when I started laughing a couple of minutes ago, because I'm like, the only thing missing here is Vincent Price, and then boom, narration.
Yeah, we at least got some there in the middle. We haven't added the long Vincent Price section at the end. The song is already long, but who knows? We may do a little add-on thing someday and stick that in there.